Hi, welcome. This is week 11, and the issues are primarily international. Let's take a look. International issues in online education and in the learning objectives. There are quite a few themes there, but I think you've come across some of this literature already, so it's not going to be particularly new. I do hope that you're going to be considering some of the variables with really large countries involved, particularly like China, uh, Indonesia, and of course India. Those three together make up a very large hunk of the population of the world, close to half of it. And so they're very significant, but there are quite a few other examples here, and I hope you're going to find some of them to be useful. And also we will be looking over some of the material from the functional areas, like we've talked about, competency-based, etc. So see where all this leads you. My hope is that maybe some of you who are still not quite really sure or comfortable with the topic you picked for your research paper, you may want to, for example, China. To me, distance learning in China strikes me as being a really fascinating subject because it's a huge market, gigantic market, and there are some very interesting issues associated with it that have to do with, that are not the least bit like the United States. In India, even more so, as you'll see in one of those articles, I'll try to point it out, that there are some degrees that are so specialized, they're set up for competencies in people who deliver food in buildings. They're called tiffin wallas, and you'll come across some of that. So I hope you're going to be able to link it together geographically as you do for everything else. Here are the assignments. I'm going to mention a couple of them as we look at them, but some of these are not as new as I'd like them to be. So as we do as we always seem to be bringing up the very freshest and newest material in the posts, I hope you're going to be doing that and find better ones than I've given you. I think these aren't too bad, but there's some that are going to be better, and I think you're going to know which ones they are. Here's one that I wanted to show you. It has to do with India. This is called Scaling. This is from the Chronicle of Higher Education a couple of years ago, and it's describing what it might be like in a gigantic country, democracy, republic like India, nothing quite like it. One estimate is that 500 million people will need training in vocational skills by 2022, so there are some very significant examples here. But I think that what you're going to discover is that there are quite a few of these examples have to do with things that we've seen before and some of the contractors we've run into before, but they're also definitely part of what we're studying. Near the top of this, it says, second, we'll have to think again about qualifications. For example, the University of Delhi is now granting a credit to tiffin wallas, people who carry freshly made food and lunchboxes to office workers, on the basis that their job undoubtedly requires calculating skills. So that's part of the issue, the controversy, I guess you'd say, about how before you issue any kind of a badge, what sort of skill would it have to include? Is there enough variety to make it interesting? So that's one of them. Let's look at a couple of the others. There are two on China that I think you're going to find interesting. Online learning becoming more popular in China. That's a year ago, not too old, pretty recent. And it's from the Economist magazine. It's pretty short, and I hope that when you go through it, you will click on some of the material there. The one-man university, that's a Beijing outfit. And again, what I think is most important and significant about this for our own interests here is that China is a huge market, and a lot of the universities are perfectly willing to farm out to private contractors this putting their own brand on the courses, but mostly letting them do it with the university's brand on them. Plus, they're importing lots and lots of Coursera material. So that's a very, very huge market, maybe, well, considerably bigger than the United States market eventually. And they're using a lot of these MOOCs for it. So I hope you're going to find that to be interesting as I did. And you'll find some links that are more recent than the ones that I've provided. This is one from the New York Times. A U.S. online course provider tries to enter the China market, and it's from 2 years ago. It's about Coursera and how they tried to enter the market and with varied results. So what I hope you'll do is update this to something fresher than what I've provided and also put your own spin on it. This is a gigantic market eventually. Of course, it tends to be dominated by contractors and also MOOCers, but there are plenty of other examples, a lot of academic papers that you might find useful. So I think it's plenty to keep us busy this week, and I hope you will find it something that you can build on. Again, I'm not as proud of this particular group of links for you that I think that these could be. So if you'll do your usual imaginative job of bringing these up to date and sharing with one another, I think we'll be fine. Thanks again for all the work you're doing in the course. I appreciate it and look forward to seeing you online soon. Bye.